So, the 997 Porsche. This one here, 2006, 3.6 Carrera. This is standard everyday Porsche, actually, everyday 911. These were really, really popular in Hong Kong. They were actually quite affordable for here. If you're used to the 996, jumping in the 997, it would have felt right at home. The dashboard, what's in front of you, didn't seem to change that much, although obviously there's much nicer materials here, standard. Now this is only the 3.6, but it's over 300 horsepower, and it's actually quite a talky engine, and it does move. These still feel great. I mean, this is a 15-year-old car. And apart from the fact it's got this thin little steering wheel, but then I'm used to driving the BMW, obviously, the big thick steering wheel on that. But it's got this thin steering wheel, but it is, a 10 to 2. They got it's a bit more flattened out for your hands, makes it feel a bit wider. It's very clear and concise. They never actually put a lot of equipment in these. This one here, it's got the standard Porsche system taken out. It's got an Android box there, so it connects to iPhone, Android, all that kind of thing, navigation. This is the Tiptronic, so not the best. Probably the one I probably would say is my least favourite of all the 997s. The manual, the PDK on the Gen 2, fantastic gearboxes. But actually, it's still a good car. It really is, and it's a fast car, and it handles well. It's like those old E39, E46 straight six engines of old. They felt very, very smooth. And when you put your foot down, you thought, whoa, there's not a lot happening. But when you looked at the speedometer, you realise that there was a lot happening. And this is a little bit like that. It doesn't feel as quick as a sports car should, I guess. But it does really move. And even though you've got that rear engine, the handling is great. It's actually, you can really feel, when you get used to it and you go around, you can really feel the back of this car digging in. So it does inspire confidence. Now, the good thing about any Porsche is drivability. I mean, you can take these shopping, you can take them to the office every day. In essence, it's just a German car, and a very, very decent German car at that. But at its heart, it is a real sports car. It's a real performance car. And that's what makes it special. I've never been a big fan of 911s. And, you know, when I first drove them, I think that kind of just confirmed my own biases, really. But since then, and I've driven so many models, the air-cooled 911, 964, 993s, 996, 997, 997 Gen 2, 991s. And, you know, the more you drive them, the more you get to respect them. They are great cars, and they are real sports cars. Now, this one I'm actually shipping to Australia for a client, and we'll put it on the road there. Now, as sports cars go, here in Hong Kong, we've got some like really, really crappy roads. And even though this is firmly sprung, it doesn't jolt through your body when you go over these bumps, even at speed. It actually does soak up a lot of these bumps really nicely. And that again is a special thing about Porsche. You know, it does that. So here, I mean, there's lots of construction here, as you can probably see, both sides actually. And the roads, they've got dump trucks, cement trucks, all sorts going up here. It's really, and there's lots of temporary road surface. So, but I although I can feel the bumps, it's not jolting my body, and as of course you can't really hear it in the car. It does insulate you from that. I mean, the interior here is well insulated from the noise. I mean, big tyres on here as well. You can't really hear them too much. So it's the refined gentleman sports car.
In 400 metres at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on Seychelles Road.
And there's navigation. Actually from my phone though. So, heading off to the container port to load this into a container, start its journey to Sydney. And that gives me just enough time to take a little drive and show you a little bit about what this car is. Although, I was hoping to give it a blast on the dual carriageway there.
Onto Seychelles Road. Continue for 3 kilometres.
On the highway, this car is composed, it's quiet, it's fast, but it's relaxing as well. You know, it's not like other sports cars, sounds a bit frenetic, drones,
in 600 metres, merge onto Takes Cairn Highway, Route 2.
And the sat nav will not shut up. I know where I'm going. It's just when I get to the container port, it's very, very confusing around that. That's why I've got the sat nav on, and I don't want to be doing it. It's straight off the highway, so I won't have an opportunity to turn it on otherwise. Anyway, as I was saying, this is quite a practical car. There's a good amount of luggage space up the front. The rear seats are for either kids or very, very tiny adults. In fact, you've literally got no legroom there whatsoever. They are, however, usable, and another place to put a load of luggage if you so choose. Speaking. Now, over the years, I've driven many of these 997s, and I do like them actually here. Used, they're actually not that expensive, and it's quite cheap to insure one here as well. There's so many of them and so many to choose from. I mean, we've got everything here. I mean, we're getting from the base 911 Carrera, such as this, for all the GT1, GT2, GT3s, turbos, special editions. I mean, they're all here. People absolutely love these. Now, the base model, the Carrera and the Carrera S 3.8 are at very affordable prices now. Now, that doesn't mean you should just run out and buy one. As usual, with all used cars, it's only as good as the people that own it. So what you do find is, you know, these get into affordable territory. People buy them, but they can't afford to maintain them, and then that causes issues down the road. Now, these actually are cheap to run. There are specialists in the UK in particular.
In 3 kilometres, take exit 10A for Route 7 towards Shipment, Kwai-Chung.
Yeah, there are specialists in particular in the UK, US, and throughout Europe. So finding spares, finding parts is actually very, very easy and very affordable. If you find a decent mechanic, these are quite easy to work on. Now, like all sports cars, actually like all German cars really, get a problem, deal with it, do it. The last thing you want is for your issues to snowball and then be left with a huge bill to fix everything at the end of the day, because that is just diabolically stupid. Now, I am about to go through a tunnel. I've just gone in the wrong lane. Okay, so we're about to enter and go through the famous Lion Rock Tunnel. This was the first tunnel ever built in Hong Kong, and in fact this was a two-way tunnel back in the day, I think back in the late 60s, and later on they opened a second tunnel and it's dual carriageway both ways. It's Anyway, back to spare parts. As I say, very cheap. Maintenance is quite easy on these. There's very, very little that's difficult. Keep on top of it. I mean, brake pads, brake discs, all your service items, nice and easy to get, nice and cheap to buy. I mean, always use a semi-decent oil. And apart from that, that's it. There's not a lot to do. These engines were very, very reliable. Now, this took 3.6, which was in the 996 Gen 2. And some, I think, of the first ones did have the IMS issue. And obviously air oil separator issues. But this one is one of the, I think one of the later ones, which should be okay. Reliability. I've never actually seen
GPS signal lost.
I've never actually seen a 911 broken down at the side of the road. I think that shows how reliable they are. I mean, there are hundreds of them here. I've never seen one broken down. Just find my junction first. I've been through here for a long time. Sometimes that's the one problem with this gearbox. It can take a little while to kick down. That's one thing I don't like about a tip trike. For 99% of what you do, the tip trike's going to be fine. And if you're in a lot of traffic and what have you, it's actually not a bad gearbox to have. But other times, it can be a bit sluggish sometimes. Right, this bit of highway here is one of the worst bits in Hong Kong. It's just so crowded and speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down, loads of junctions, and it's quite Narrow as well, so it's not the nicest bit of road to be on. Luckily we don't have to do much of it. These seats are extremely sportive, very sporty. The only problem is if you like wide shouldered and wide back like I am, you're kind of forcing yourself back into it a bit. Okay, so we're here. I'll do some video from outside the car in a minute. Okay, just preparing to put the car in the container now.